Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 29 of the Weekend Wrap-Up Show. Another week of Premier League action, European action, and the transfer market closing. We got a great show tonight lined up for you, packed with guests this week. As always, we are glad to introduce the Trivia King himself, joining us from Ohio, the Midwest's best fantasy sports mastermind. We have HoffSpur. Welcome in, Hoff. How you doing, Hot? Oh, you're muted.
Great.
There you go. There we go. Sorry.
Even better now that I'm unmuted. Great. How are you?
Doing good. Doing good. Nice to have you. Also joining us is our next guest is an international man of mystery. Is he English? Is he Australian or Canadian? We don't know. He is a racing savant, Christian Horner level F1 manager, and eFootball's very own Dennis Bergkamp aficionado. It's none other than Twitch's own Milothe1st. Milo, welcome to the program.
Good evening. Glad to be here. I'll ignore the Australian part.
I mean, you know. Also,
so straight off the bat.
You're an international man of mystery. Yeah, anyways.
Also, the Christian Horner comment. Yeah, let's.
Yeah, that was meant to be a kind of a,
It's a low blow.
Your favorite. That was your favorite guy, right?
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. Also joining us, the French-speaking Renaissance man himself. He also speaks English. A mixed martial arts and Montreal Canadian commentator joining us from Montreal, Canada. It's HighlyUnconvinced. Highly, welcome to the show. Where are you?
Bonsoir.
There you are. Bonsoir. What are the Canadians called? They're the Habs, the habitants, right? The habitant.
Yeah, that's right.
What was it? Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, you nailed it, man.
And last but certainly not least, we have a football manager extraordinaire, Singaporean golfing champion, amazing YouTube content creator. Check out his channel, guys, where he's playing 2003, 2004 retro Manchester United play. And in today's video, he entered the World Cup with England from that time, and that squad is something to look at, which is really, really cool. Welcome to the program. It is CulturedLeftFoot. Oh, there we go. Where's Cultured? There's Cultured. Hey, Cultured. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. Good to be back. Long time.
Yes, it's been a while. We've a bit of a hiatus, but glad to have you back.
Yeah.
Alrighty, fellas. Let's get right into it. We have a couple topics this week. We're going to be taking a look at the Derby della Madonnina, which I learned is the name for the Milan Derby, and other European leagues this week. We'll be taking a look at those. Premier League, we had a double match week, so we'll be taking a look at those matches. We had a big match yesterday, Arsenal Manchester United, which will be interesting discussion there. Also, the transfer window closed. We'll talk a bit about that, what's going on there. Bit of fantasy. We have a new game called Categories, hosted by Hoff himself, which will be fun. We're going to do a quiz, a 5-question quiz this week, and the winner gets to choose a sound effect. You just point me in the direction of it. I will do all the work. I'll find it. I'll put it in the stream. Whenever you arrive in the stream, you can set it off, whatever you want to do. And as always, we have our weekly check-in and a bit of extra time. We can talk anything we want. F1, MMA, golf, tennis, anything's possible. But let's get right into our first topic for the evening. We had a fantastic Milan Derby on Saturday. Really enjoyable match. Really enjoyable match. And Milo is our, we have correspondents now, guys, on the channel. Milo is our Serie A correspondent. And I also watched the match, but let's just talk a little bit about that Milan Derby, Milo, before we get into the rest of Serie A, if we could. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just made it. I don't know if any of you guys watched it. Obviously, you did, Gart, so we'll go around the table. But yeah, it was a really entertaining Milan Derby. All about Rafael Leao, really. You can see why he's highly coveted around the rest of Europe. I think Chelsea were trying to grab him in the summer, and now there's talk about Liverpool and other teams in the Premier League are interested in him. Yeah, it was a really, really good game. And honestly, when I get into the rest of Serie A this weekend, it was just a great weekend. Like I'm really, I said last year, I'm enjoying that renaissance that Serie A's got going on, and it's really entertaining. Yeah, Inter took the lead. Leao equalized with a really nice finish, I thought. Then Oli G made it 2-1. He loves the Milan derby. And then Leao's second great goal, individual. I thought, he really showed a bit of everything. Pace, power, finish, really impressive. Yeah, Dzeko pulling one back and they almost equalized, to be honest. They had a couple of late chances, but AC took the points. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you covered it pretty well. It's just so cool to see that derby back and with some fire in it. There was that whole Juventus period is now over, and in the beginning of the Juventus period it was nice, but it's so nice to see Inter and Milan back competing well, with good teams, because Milan were pretty bad for a couple of years. They were pretty bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought that was a good match. I don't know if anyone else has anything to add about the Milan derby, but Milo, if you want to continue with the rest of Serie A.
Get Serie A out the way.
Oh yeah, Hoff. Yeah, go.
I just wanted to throw in real quick. Mike Maignan is
really
good. He's criminally underrated. He's since he was at he was at Lille, right?
Yeah.
When they won the title, his stock is way up. He's very, very good. I don't know if Deschamps can justify keeping Lloris as the number one going into the World Cup. It'll be an interesting decision for him. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that will be interesting.
I think that's the classic sort of, just going on that Lloris comment, I think that's the classic thing with England though, isn't it? Is that Southgate won't drop Pickford, because for England, Pickford's not done anything wrong. And Pickford actually had a really good game. But Lloris for France technically hasn't done that much wrong whilst in goal. So it would be harsh to drop him. But
True.
Yeah, I thought Maignan was really good for Milan. I caught the highlights, so it was a good game. Don't like Inter's kit though. It looks too much like Sampdoria. From a distance, it looked like Sampdoria. I didn't like it.
Yeah, Inter goes pretty wild with their kits lately. They've been getting. They had like a snake skin looking one last year, I think. That's interesting stuff. Hoff,
I find it interesting that Hoff just threw his keeper under the bus like that. Damn. That's why I went like this.
Lloris has been playing not that Lloris has been playing bad. I just think Maignan has been playing incredibly well.
Yeah.
And if I'm the manager, I'm taking a form player over a guy over experience. And then until the form guy loses his form. That's how I would do it, but that's why I don't get paid the big bucks, I guess.
Right. Yeah. It's cool to see Olivier Giroud doing so well as well at 35. Yeah, it's good to see.
He's just really nice to look at, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a handsome. What's a bloke in French called? Like a
monsieur?
A monsieur?
Mec. M-E-C?
A mech.
Or mech. Here, I put it in the chat.
Mech.
Yeah, because usually when you talk about a bloke, maybe Milo and Dave, you guys could correct me, but usually when you talk about a bloke, you're saying it in a positive light, right? And mech is kind of like the same thing. So
okay. Yeah, it was a great match. I'm looking forward to that Serie A season. And speaking of Serie A, Milo, if you want to continue with your Serie A roundup, yeah,
I'll just skim through that, and then if you guys want to talk about any parts of it, let me know. But
sure.
Napoli was the next game I had my eyes on because of the wonder kid Faradona. I keep bringing him up, and it was all about him again this weekend. So Napoli beat Lazio despite going a goal down. And last week I said how impressive Lazio's squad is, and I do think it is. But it was this Georgian wonder kid again, constant threat, scored the winner with his fourth goal in 5 games. Lazio did have a late penalty shout and also brought out a great save, but Napoli held on for that and went temporarily top of the table until today. We'll get to the big game today that I want to talk about, but Roma got spanked 4-0 by Udinese. not the result Jose would have been expecting there. Their goalkeeper had an absolute mare, to be honest, and there was just no coming back. They were just second best to everything on the day. Juve held to a 1-1 draw away at Fiorentina, and the game today, Atalanta, impressive start to the campaign, 2-0 win on the road, with goals from Højlund. That's Højlund, not Haaland. Right? Højlund and Lookman. It's the first time in the club's history they've ever led the Serie A table, and they are top by 2 points. And honestly, it was such a good week in Serie A. I'm really enjoying being the correspondent for Serie A because it's making me watch so much of it that I'm really, really enjoying it.
Absolutely, yeah. Serie A has its own distinct style, which is really, really, really unique, I think, to European leagues. Next up, Hoff, do you want to talk a little bit of Bundesliga or
Let's do it.
What's happening over there? Yeah, go for it, man.
Just to build off of what Milo was saying, how he's enjoying being the Serie A correspondent. I'm really enjoying doing the Bundesliga because they have Friday night football every week. I really wish the Premier League did that because I know they'll like start the season with a Friday game and then, but I know Europe kind of throws things off. Anyways, so this week, the most significant result that I caught was Union Berlin holding Bayern to another draw. So that's 2 draws in a row for Bayern. Geraldo Becker and Joshua Kimmich scored very close, like 12th and 15th minute. Kimmich's goal was really nice. Took a deflection past Ronald Union's keeper. But it was a tight angle from the corner of the box. And Ronald made 2 great saves on Mane and Sané. Like you would expect those guys to score the goals that he made the saves on. And Neuer made a late save as well. He's so good. He's one of the best keepers at making his body big, and that's what you're taught to do, but he's really good at making his body big, like with his arms and throwing his leg out and stuff. That's what his save was. Some other results, Dortmund beat Hoffenheim 1-0 in the Friday night game. Frankfurt 4-0 over Leipzig. Leipzig are struggling right now. They started off okay, but their last few matches, they just haven't been finding goals and just been struggling overall. Mainz beat Gladbach 1-0, coming off of Gladbach's draw, the Jan Sommer special last week. Freiburg, who is actually at the top of the table right now, beat Leverkusen 3-2. Leverkusen, another struggling club who's in the Champions League. Like they had a really good season last year, and Leverkusen have only won 1 match so far this year. So just a table recap. Freiburg and Dortmund are top right now after 5 matches with 12 points apiece. Bayern and Union are just behind with 11 points. I really think Union are going to make the Champions League. They're playing so well right now. And Mainz is just behind them in 5th with 10 points. I mentioned Leverkusen with 3 points so far in 14th, and Leipzig have 5 points with in 11th place. And Geraldo Becker, I'm gonna keep heaping praise on Union. If you get a chance to see a Union Berlin game, watch them. They are fun to watch. Geraldo Becker is finishing everything. Him and Niklas Füllkrug are top scorers right now with 5 apiece, and they're just a fun squad to watch. There's not a lot of star power, I will say, but they play really well. They frustrate big teams, and they take care of business against the teams they should beat, which is nice to see.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice. I was just looking ahead.
Risk of being pillaged in January transfer window if they keep it up, Union?
I don't know, because I know some guys left last season after they had a decent they qualified for the Europa League, and it seems like they strengthened with the intention of keeping the squad together, and it's working out so far. So I think, like, if the right offers came in, they would sell, but I don't think that they'll just sell to make money. I think they would show some resolve.
Nice. Ooh. I was just looking at Bayern has Inter this week in the Champions League on Wednesday, which will be a good match as well in that group. Moving on to Spain, Real Madrid, they played Real Betis. That was the top of the table clash. At 1-0 to Madrid early with Vinicius Jr. goal. Nabil Fekir, who was linked with Barca on the deadline day, which that deal never went through, but he got injured and he went off. So that's a bit of a scare for them. He's their best player. Then Betis did equalize after that in the 17th minute, but Rodrigo ended up scoring early in the second half. And that puts Real Madrid at the top of the table. They're the only undefeated team with a 100% win ratio or win record in the top leagues in Europe. I think Ebbsfleet United is the only other team in Europe that's has a 100% win ratio. Oriol Tchouameni looks really good at the base of that midfield. You know, he had a really good game, winning 16 of his 19 duels. Yeah, just really good. I think he's gonna fill in really nicely. Madrid doing well so far. Barcelona, they went away to Sevilla. Sevilla's having a tough season so far. And Sevilla in the beginning of the game were quite in control, you know. They were doing really well, but with Lewandowski, Rafinha, and Dembele up front, the goal is always gonna. I just read chat real quick. Sorry, got a little distracted. But yeah, Jules Koundé returning to Sevilla, where he was signed from, had a man of the match performance and played really well. But Lewandowski get on the score sheet as well. Other games, Atletico versus Real Sociedad ended 1-1. Morata scoring an early goal. And new signing Omar Sadiq, who signed from Almeria. He was signed as a basically Isak replacement. He ended up scoring the 55th minute. And he came on as a halftime substitute as well. Yeah, he's having a great season so far. He'll be interesting to see. He's a Nigerian player there. Valencia, led by Gennaro Gattuso, right? They won 5-1 over Getafe on Sunday. It was fun to watch that game because Greg Berhalter, the U.S. men's national team coach, was in attendance, watching Yunus Musa, who could have played for England, in fact, but he decided to choose the USA. And he was playing amazing. He's playing amazing, just a workhorse in the midfield. Other results: Villarreal beat Elche 4-0, and Valladolid today they beat Almeria 1-0 with an injury time winner from Israeli forward Sean Weissman. And that was their first win of the season, newly promoted side. Atletico and Sociedad tied on 7 points. Barcelona's tied for second with 10 points as well. Madrid at the top of the table. Early days, but it'll heat up in Spain. I'm looking forward to watching more Barca and Madrid matches and seeing the level of play. You know, when you see a high quality presentation of a sport, it changes your appreciation for it. I think when you see, like, on it's not on cable TV here, you know. So now that I have a subscription to ESPN Plus, I'm able to see these matches, and also German matches and other stuff too. But it's really nice to see these matches in high quality, and you know, it's just the fidelity adds a little bit to the whole situation, I think. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have anything else to add about European matches. Yeah, Highly.
Sure. You know, I want to say something because you mentioned Tchouameni by name. I don't know if you guys read the news about Pogba potentially missing the World Cup because he's going to be. I don't know if that was in any of your topics for today, but you know, that's a significant loss because he usually, you know, elevates his game with France. I think he just fits within the mold of that team very well. I don't need to get into that, but I think Tchouameni hopefully will be able to kind of fill in that slot accordingly. Let's see if he can distribute the ball as well as someone like Pogba. But yeah, I think that's the way he's playing. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a starter for France.
That's a great point. Yeah. Hoff, yeah.
I just had a question. As our La Liga correspondent, are you worried about Sevilla?
Yeah, so that I had that written down. Yeah, Sevilla's only got 1 point from their first 4 games, I believe. Only one win from their first 4 games. I'm not too worried. I think Lopetegui's gonna go. He just maybe it's, I don't know, maybe I was just reading too much into his facial expressions, but he looks like a guy who's a bit like, anything I do, no matter how right I think it is, it's just not gonna work. It's just one of those situations where you feel, it seems like they're gonna have to change the manager. It's just one of those classic like, change the manager before you change the whole squad type of thing. They did lose Diego Carlos and Conde. And so we'll see. We'll see if maybe they need to build a little chemistry with that situation. But
I see they have City this week in the Champions League, so that might not be good.
Yeah. Alrighty, well, guys, let's move on to a bit of Premier League action. Lots of Premier League action. We had a double match week. I'm just gonna go through kind of a big 6 teams, and we'll just kind of go like that. I'll start with Liverpool. Midweek, Liverpool played Newcastle. There was that controversial extra time, Newcastle time wasting. Apparently, like, the ball was in play for 50 minutes out of the 90, and Liverpool ended up getting an extra time winner. And then they also played to a 0-0 draw on the weekend. I don't know if any of you guys have any thoughts about Liverpool's week or any of those matches. There was that.
I don't know how they didn't score against Everton. Jordan Pickford had a blinder, but
yeah. They hit the post a couple times, and there was that VVD possible red card with Onana. I don't know if you guys caught any of that. It was quite high on the shin. Some people are saying could have been a red. I don't know if you guys remember that one.
Yeah, could have been.
Not as bad as Haaland's. That's up for me.
Yeah, that was straight on the head. Huh?
I think VVD's one was it was a weird one because he caught him on the shin, but when you saw the replay, he did try to pull out. I think he didn't go full. If it was full force, I think it's a red card. But he saw he wasn't going to get the ball and slowed down a bit. But it was high. It was late.
It was high.
Could have very easily been a red. Yeah.
I think his reputation helped him too. He's not known to be a dirty player, so I think that might have saved him a little bit.
Reputation.
Too much of a dirty.
Too much reputation. Yeah.
This is something we talk about, like, in the Discord. I would say almost daily. It depends where you're at, but I think the general consensus reputation should mean nothing. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's tough.
If it's a foul, it's a foul, right?
It's just that it's just that bias, right? It just goes to another bias. You're used to
for sure.
A smooth-haired Van Dijk, nice guy, whatever, and then you see other guys like, I don't know, Xhaka, for example. Or
Xhaka's off on that challenge.
Yeah, I agree. If Xhaka puts that tackle in, it's a red card. I agree.
It's crazy,
but it shouldn't be.
Yeah, absolutely, it shouldn't be.
Or it should be for both.
Yeah.
Well, I think it should be for both. Yeah. I think, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Moving on to Manchester City. They won 6-0 midweek. Haaland hat trick, Alvarez double. And then on the weekend, they played a 1-1 draw with Villa. Ashley Young came on in the first half. I wrote that down, and it was mentioned by some City fans that he was playing, or by some probably non-City fans, that he was shutting down Grealish. City had 0 shots on target in the first half, but an excellent cross from KDB to Haaland on that finish. That was a beautiful cross by KDB. If they develop that connection, that's going to be dangerous. And Leon Bailey with a beautiful strike to equalize. Thoughts on Haaland's impact at City? Highly, do you have any thoughts about Haaland's impact and how dangerous can this guy be?
I don't think we're gonna see a striker, a full-on number 9 in the Premier League as clinical as Haaland for a very, very long time. You know, I was on Twitter at some point and someone said, you know, who do you guys consider the best player in the world right now? Because, you know, I give my vote. This isn't me speaking, but somebody said that. A journalist said, I give my vote to Haaland. I said, yeah, if you want to compare him to Ronaldo maybe, and the kind of, you know, just clinical finishing ability, sure. And we talked ad nauseum for years about how Manchester City were missing exactly that, just that number 9. It wasn't Jesus, unfortunately. It wasn't cutting it for them. Aguero, of course, you know, after, you know, he left a big hole on that squad. And Haaland is just, he's the perfect fit because he can hold up play, which I continue to be pleasantly surprised about. He really knows how to use his size. He knows how to time his runs. He plays shoulder to shoulder. He's nudging people and defenders left and right. I mean, that was like, you could not have asked for a better player to join Manchester City. And I will say this, though. Let's see what they do in the Champions League. I think that's the most important thing, because the Premier League, you know, they can dominate, fine, especially on the heels of, you know, Liverpool not being so great so far. But let's see what they do during the Champions League. I think that's where it's going to matter the most.
Yeah, I think that's how high the bar is for City, right? That's how high the bar is. And then on the weekend they draw to City. I don't know. Yeah, Cultured. Go ahead. Yeah.
I was just going to say on Haaland, I know we all had, there was reservations, right, about a big, tall striker playing for Pep after Zlatan at Barca and that sort of thing. But Haaland does seem like the perfect Pep striker in that he's just so robotic about what he does. Haaland is there to just score goals, and that's all he wants to do. He doesn't want to have flair, like too much flair. He doesn't want to be the Zlatan big character. He just wants to be this robotic striker that scores goals. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Obviously, that's a wonderful thing in your striker to have. But that is what makes him suit Pep's system of no emotion. This is what we do. There's no not no fun. That's not the way to describe it. But it's, you know, this is how we play. This is the method of play. This is what we do going up the pitch, which is fine. It is boring at times, and all their goals go in the same way. That is having a bit more variety now that Sterling's not there and it's cut across the goal. But yeah, I mean, it's just perfect for Pep. It's perfect for Pep's style of management, style of play, and he's going to be, like Highly said, he's going to be absolutely lethal in the Premier League.
Absolutely, yeah. Milo.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I wouldn't say I was a doubter for Haaland, because obviously you can put the ball in the net. That's never been a debate. I do think that we've seen a couple of games now where his effect can be limited, and I think you really have to set up to neutralize specifically Haaland and specifically KDB. I just think that's the only way you're going to limit the opportunities. You're not going to stop them, but you're going to limit those opportunities. And we've seen a couple of teams do it. Maybe Villa were a little bit fortunate, to be honest. And I did comment on the goal. It was a fabulous cross by KDB. However, I do think that if you look, I think the goalkeeper could be positioned a little better.
Yeah.
He kind of drew himself out to the near post, and it perfectly, you know, it just allowed KDB to put it behind him. And, you know, if the keeper's not in the middle or keeping an eye on Haaland, then, you know, you're screwed. So whenever you play City, you're gonna have to be switched on for 90 plus minutes. Like, if you switch off, they're gonna destroy you. I just think that's how it is.
Absolutely.
I think just one last thing on that. I think what Villa did really well is that they allowed Man City to move the ball to Grealish, and I think Grealish is a flop of Man City. I think Ashley Young, like we were saying in the chat, Ashley Young pocketed him. I think, and Villa, credit to Steven Gerrard, I think they allowed Grealish to have that space, tried to man mark Haaland, De Bruyne, the other sort of central midfielders and wingers and people that pushed into attacking players, and let Grealish have the ball. And we're just like, well, we know Grealish isn't blessed with pace. He's not going to really run in behind. He's got to be trickery. And Ashley Young pocketed him. And I'm like, that's not a bad tactic to do if Grealish is on the pitch, if you're playing Man City. Try and go man for man and give Grealish the space and hope that your fullback can take him out. And if Ashley Young can do it, then I think most other fullbacks in the Premier League are probably thinking they can do it. So
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, when I compare this City team to Pep's previous teams, is he always had pretty good wingers, you know, and you know, I don't know if Grealish and even Mahrez, they don't really do it for me. Foden playing on the wing, I think, is pretty solid, and KDB getting in those areas can obviously be dangerous, but it'll be interesting to see what goes on there. Yeah, highly.
Yeah, I did want to mention, you know, we did talk, Milo, you did make a good point. Martinez probably could have played that better, but otherwise he was very, very good. I think he was the difference maker against City. And I'll say this, and I don't really have the ability to quantify this, so you guys will have to take me at my word, but Martinez is the kind of keeper who can intimidate his opponents. I don't think there's a keeper out there who intimidates his opponents or gets in their heads as much as Martinez does. You see it during the Copa America. You see it like even, I mean, for him to get people to get players like Haaland to miss the target and do things like that, you don't see that very often. In that intimidation factor is something that's really worth mentioning for Martinez. He loves to talk. He loves to get in people's heads, and I think that's something that really makes a huge difference in a player's confidence in front of goal.
He did it midweek against Arsenal too. He was having a great game up until the point where he went ahead, and then it just. But he can be a good keeper. I just wish he'd shown more of that when he was at Arsenal, to be honest, because he could have gone on to be the number one at that time, and obviously. Yeah. We moved on from him pretty quick because he was prone to some errors. But if you look again against Arsenal, he made one of those errors that probably sealed his fate when he was with us.
Yeah. We'll talk about another Argentinian Martinez a little later in the show, you know. Same. Yeah. Next up, we got Chelsea. Midweek, they lost 2-1. Or was it? Yeah, midweek, they lost 2-1 to Southampton. Great strike from 18-year-old Manchester City loanee Romeo Lavia, playing really well at one of those 6 positions, but he's picked up a hamstring injury, so he'll be out for about 6 weeks, unfortunately. But he's looking really good. Good signing for them. He also played really well against United the previous week. And on the weekend, controversial match, Chelsea 2, West Ham 1, 88th minute winner from Havertz. And then that disallowed goal for that foul, that vicious kick on Mendy's shoulder, a career-ending kick on Mendy's shoulder, which was called back. So we can get into VAR now. Let's just go ahead. Let's do our VAR talk here. Might as well.
That was an eFootball call. That was an eFootball refereeing call. That was horrendous.
To call it back, right? The whole idea. I mean, other than Chelsea, I think Chelsea is a little average right now. I mean, I think they have 10 points, which is, for the way they've been playing, is, I think if you're a Chelsea fan, you're pretty happy with that.
Yep.
You know, they've just signed Aubameyang, right? We'll talk a little transfers as well, but they signed Aubameyang, so they've got something brewing where, you know, do you think top 4 is the goal for them now at this point? I don't think title is in their grasp right now. It doesn't seem like it. So. But that VAR decision, right? VAR calling it back. Who wants to have the first go at this? Because, in my opinion, VAR is supposed to call it back for clear and obvious issues, right? In the build-up. But also when there's a goal, it's you know, they have to check all the goals in the build-up and all that stuff. But
they
I don't know.
Don't. But whatever.
They don't. They don't.
The thing I've talked about it more than once on this show, and I will talk about it again on the show. The only thing for me is it's not consistent. Process isn't consistent. What they look at isn't consistent. There's a couple of items that they always will check. So the goal goes in, they check that it's a goal, right? That much is almost where we need it to be. But whether or not they check something in the build-up or not is, you know, we're going to talk Arsenal Man United, the whole Martinelli one. I'm not that fussed about the VAR decisions in yesterday's game, and we'll talk about that during Arsenal Man United. There's nothing in there that really chafes my butt, so to speak. But it's just the whole process across the whole weekend and the whole season. This lack of consistency. And I do have a really out there crazy idea of how to fix it. However, I want to hear from you guys on it before we do that. Maybe I'll just end on that if you want to come back to me on that, Cart.
Sure, perfect. Yeah, what are your thoughts on that VAR decision? First off, do you feel it was a foul on Mendy? Highly, do you think it was a foul on Mendy?
Not really.
Not really. Okay. Hoff, foul?
Jail time. Yes. Get him out. Suspend Bowen. No, it's not a foul. Come on, that's bad.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Yeah, I don't know. The problem is it's a soft call. It's a soft call. Mendy makes a meal of it. I don't know. It's one of those it kind of goes back to the consistency model you're talking about. If you're gonna call that, you got to call so many more now, right? I'll take the other side of it. I thought it was a foul because it technically was a foul. It was soft.
Well, my opinion on it is, if Mendy had that same contact on him, but the ball was a yard away from him and he could reach it with his hands, would he have still got a foul? Would it have still been a foul? If Mendy could have gathered that ball, would it still have been a foul? No, it wouldn't have been called a foul. So why is it a foul when he spilt it 2 yards away from him and he can't reach the ball? That's my thing on it. That's my take.
It's basically like he's played the ball and then he's got hit. So you're saying had he played the ball and then got hit, but he still could have grabbed it? Or are you saying before he could even touch? Because he makes a play on the ball, he bats it away, and then it's just like if you're coming in for a tackle. If you're coming in for a tackle with your foot, you kick it, and then somebody runs into you and you kind of go down. It's the same situation, but he can use his hands.
But on that theory,
so soft.
Let's take soft, it's so soft. The UnitedvArsenal one, right? There was a moment where not the goal that was disallowed, but there was a moment when Saka, I think, had a shot, and Malacia came in for a slide tackle, and they just connected with each other. There was nothing involved in it. There was no malicious. It was never a penalty. Everyone, I think, not even Arsenal fans, I think, appealed for a penalty in that one. That's exactly the same as Bowen running through and Mendy making a save and then just tripping over him. It's just part of the game. That's never a disallowed goal. It should stand.
Yeah,
I agree.
I don't think VAR should have stepped in.
No,
that's
the thing, right?
That's the biggest problem there, I think.
VAR's making everything too complicated now. It was there to say you wouldn't even notice it. It would all be done in the background. Like, it would be a quick decision and then it's a goal. And it's like, I mean, it's just rubbish. If at least put a time stamp on it. If you can't see anything clearly within 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 10 seconds, make it consistent, whatever, then it's not clear and obvious, so don't change the decision.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Milo doesn't like that idea. No, it's just going to be subjective again, though, isn't it? On as to what is clear and obvious, and that one.
So you might as well.
That one in 10 seconds, I can tell it is a foul, but in 10 seconds, you're saying it's not a foul. You know what I mean? It's still the same, never-ending. I'm exhausted with VAR, and we're 5-6 games into the season. I'm exhausted by it already.
Yeah. And this is the problem with VAR, is that it's not just because you're taking the decision to someone else to look at it. It's not yes or no. It's still subjective. So what's the point? Like, ideally, in a perfect world, it would go somewhere and a computer would be like, yeah, there was contact or there wasn't enough contact or whatever, and it would give you a clear yes or no through an algorithm. Like, you'd really take the fun out of it all. But if that's not happening, then what's the point of it? Because it's just subjective from one person on a pitch to one person in a room back in Stockley Park or wherever it is. Get rid of it. We've tried it. Get rid of it. It's rubbish.
Stockley Park's a great name for wherever that is. Is that where the FA headquarters
that is where
are?
It is, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Stockley Park of the FA headquarters.
Great name. Great name. Milo, do you want to give us your theory? Or Hoff, real quick?
Go on,
sorry.
Yeah, just real quick. For what it's worth, on FPL, and I don't know if this is the Premier League or if it's Chelsea listing, determining the injury, but Mendy is listed with a shoulder injury.
Oh, good work.
I saw that today and I thought that was hilarious.
That's smart by that's That's smart by Chelsea to do that. At least, I mean, I don't know. I could
And double down.
Totally,
He got hurt.
Double down. Give him a midweek break. All right, Milo.
Yeah, so it's probably a ludicrous idea, but I'm really looking forward to hearing your guys' take on it. What if, and I don't know all the details because it would take too long, and we can maybe, if you guys like the idea, we could talk about it more in the future, but much like jury duty, what if there was VAR duty? And they called up a panel each week of the public, and you had to go do your VAR duty, and you were sat with...
Get out. No, get out.
That's great.
Listen. And there'd be one, you'd have to obviously disclose what team you support, and you could have, as long as there's one from every team, or one from each team, or whatever, then the panel would work, and then the panel could review the decisions. It would mean a lot more retroactive stuff would have to happen.
Right.
But
right.
yeah,
1 point, Milo. 1 point. Okay. You're on there and you're watching your game. It's Arsenal v Man City. You're watching it. You're at your house. You've got a beer. It's brilliant.
No,
and then it pops up and it says, it pops up on the screen. It says your VAR jury today includes Extreme Beast. You'll be like, get out. Get out. If it's Man United Arsenal and it said your jury is Cash, I'll be like, God, no chance.
Yeah, but that's the point, because his vote will be nullified by the United fan amongst the jurors. So therefore, that's why you must have one from every walk of life. Much like jury duty,
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair.
I mean, I like the idea of a jury. I like the idea of some sort of jury. I'm not sure what the solution is there. I mean, it's got to be like, maybe just like you could just throw like a group of 50 people, and just have them just sitting.
It would take too long.
Foul or no foul, and then just within 10 seconds, they all press a foul or no foul, and then boom.
Yeah.
That's whatever they pop out. The average is the decision. One way or the
Pressing
other.
it would be the speediest. Pressing it would be the speediest option, a button, but I think it would be funnier if they had a sign that said foul or no foul that they kind of held up.
So someone's like counting with a pen,
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. It has to be. It's definitely like whatever the solution is, it's going to be exclusive to the top leagues, right? Whatever they come up with, and I bet that whatever that tech is going to be when they get AI involved and stuff is going to be big money business. Which will be very interesting if how tech gets involved. Yeah, Cultured.
That brings me on to another point with VAR, is that it's in a strange situation where it's prioritizing, because so VAR was introduced, right, to say let's get the correct decisions because there's so much money basically riding on football now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But one of my biggest bugbears about VAR is that is them prioritizing, let's say, the Premier League and to a degree later stages of the FA Cup and the Championship if they get it and things like that. I can't remember if all the Championship clubs have got it. To say that they're more important on a monetary value than clubs potentially going out of business. Like, I'm not saying clubs in the Vanarama National should have VAR, but there are teams that may get to the Vanarama National, get relegated, and not have enough money to survive, and that relegation may have been by a dodgy red card, a goal not given, where it's crossed the line, something like that. And it's sort of then elitist to say, well, we're going to try and give you all the technology because you have the most money, not because it's life and death dependent on whether you're going to survive. And that's what I don't like about it.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't trickle down well, right? Because it decreases because you want the refs to be ambitious, right? You want the refs to have ambition and perform well. Maybe they want to have some refs have a dream to ref the World Cup final, right? And you kind of take away a big incentive for those refs. I don't know. Yeah, it's a great point. Great point. Yeah. Yeah. VAR is going to be a weekly topic, but let's move on from it. Let's see if we can move on. I'm pretty sure these next couple games don't have any VAR, so we're clear for these ones. We'll talk a bit of Spurs here. West Ham Spurs midweek 1-1. Souček was amazing in that game. Great goal between him and Antonio. And also then on the weekend, Spurs 2, Fulham 1, which is a pretty good game, I felt. Richarlison scored his what was meant to be his first goal for Tottenham, took off the shirt and everything, and then called back. Yeah, Hoff, you want to comment on some of these games?
The yellow card did stand.
It did.
Which is kind of weird, but whatever. The West Ham game, for some reason, we always seem to struggle when we play at West Ham. We lost there last year, so getting that's a point up on last year. That's how I track progress from year to year, just based on the previous season's results, the same results from the previous season. Yeah, so it's a 1-point improvement. It's a tough place to play. They just signed Paqueta, who made his debut in that game, not his full debut, but his debut. It was Paqueta and I can't remember who else it was. I don't know, but there was a ball that came across the box, and Paqueta and the other player, I can't remember who it was, they just had a miscommunication. If one of them put their foot on the ball, they would have scored the winner, but it went right through both of them, and they were just looking at each other like, I thought you had it. So thankful that neither one of them had it. But that was a little comical. The Fulham match, I thought that was a pretty good performance. It was a good game.
Yeah.
Sessegnon, I really like him. I've talked about him quite a bit, and Højbjerg's been fantastic this season so far. He gets a lot of, I think, unfair criticism from Spurs fans, but he's been one of, if not our best player so far this season, and he's already got 2 goals, which were pretty nice. And Kane is more of the Kane that I expect. I'm hoping Son finds his form somewhere. He had so many chances on Saturday as well. I thought for sure that he was going to get at least one, but it just wasn't meant to be. He hit the post, he hit the crossbar. It was just unlucky for Son. Richarlison was fantastic. He was the man of the match on Saturday. He was everywhere. He was looking really good. As long as he's okay coming off the bench here and there and starting here and not consistently starting, I think that battle between him and Kulusevski for starting, I think iron sharpens iron. It'll improve both of them, hopefully, ideally, in Conte's mind.
Absolutely. Yeah, and they have I think Marseille midweek.
Yeah, Marseille.
Marseille. So that'll be a good match as well. Yeah, so currently Arsenal's top of the league, then City, then Tottenham, then we have Brighton, United, Chelsea, Liverpool. Brentford, speaking of Brentford, they won 5-2 at Leeds. There's a couple standout results I noted down. Ivan Toney hat-trick, and then a Jesse Marsh red card. Love to see that, love to see that. Also, we had a Brighton 5, Leicester 2. Brighton played really well. Leicester, I watched a bit of this game. They were trying so hard to get something going, but something is just broken in that Leicester squad. Fofana leaving, Tielemans being linked away. Soyuncu has been something's going on with Soyuncu today, I read. Rodgers looks a little lost. He came out and talked about the board. Is Leicester going down, guys? They had 2015-16 they were champions. Six-ish years later, is that the end coming up here pretty soon, or what? Can they turn it around? What do you guys? What's your just general feeling about that? Highly, or I don't know who's got it.
Yeah, Leicester are in shambles. They are not a pleasant team to watch. They are not entertaining. They just can't seem to mesh. Vardy is like a shadow of himself. It's a very slow start to the season for him, by his standards, for sure. I think Extreme Beast said it best in the chat. Rodgers will be sacked. I wouldn't be surprised, because that is a team that is not cohesive right now.
Absolutely, they're playing.
Rodgers has gone into full-on protect himself mode, like he does when he's about to lose his job. Rodgers does it at every job he's ever been sacked from. He goes from saying how the team are good to how the team need to improve, and then it's all about how the team are rubbish and nothing to do with him. Like, so he's gone. I think, is it Villa they play next, Leicester, which is a huge game. I
think so. Let me just go ahead off.
I don't know if he will get sacked. I mean, Leicester, I don't know if they posted it yet, but they're gonna post like the biggest loss financially, the biggest loss in Premier League history, I believe. I don't know if they're gonna sack him and then go find I mean, they're gonna have to find a replacement. I think Rodgers is gonna leave. I don't think that they will sack him and have to pay severance and all that. I think they want him to go to make the decision to leave. But it's the same result either way. It's just a matter of the money. But I've been trying to think of who the next man in is, and I don't know who it is. But I agree. I think Rodgers is gone. It's just I don't agree that he will be sacked.
Yeah, they're playing Ndidi at center back these days. It's just not looking great. Yeah, Milo.
Yeah, I mean, if you listen to what Rodgers said, I mean, if he's telling the truth, he's identified 8, 9, 10 players in the last 2 years that he's wanted Leicester to pursue, and they pursued exactly 0 of them. And I think, sure, they could show the fans they're doing something by sacking Rodgers, but it's just going to be to paper over the cracks. The new guy comes in, maybe he'll get something more out of the existing squad. But like Rodgers said, I mean, he's telling the truth. They've let players go, and he's not been able to. He's been told, no, we don't have the money to do it. So if I was Rodgers, I'd probably walk away too, because what's the point?
It's a tough situation for Leicester, isn't it? Because their whole company, the owning company, it's not Visit Thailand, but it's something to do with Thailand and the Thai tourism, and obviously it got ruined during COVID, and that was their whole source of income for that business, and that's why they've not been able to invest in anything. And when you go, living where I do, I've got the pleasure of being able to go to Thailand now that COVID's coming to an end and travel's opening up, and they are plastered absolutely everywhere in that airport. I can't remember what the business is called, but it is plastered absolutely everywhere in the airports, in Bangkok, in Krabi, and all these different places you walk in. There's Leicester kits to buy and things like that, and it shows you how much they rely on the tourism of Thailand. And I think they've got a danger of getting relegated purely on the financial side of things. I think they could go into administration potentially if they don't offload a few more players in January. They're going to be looking at free transfers who are going to be past it, sort of things to try and keep them afloat, and it could very easily snowball for Leicester.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what how Leicester fans feel about it, but the fairy tale title win is like, if you're alive for that, you don't. I mean, I obviously don't want to go get relegated, but at least they got that in. I don't know.
Yeah.
Teams don't get to stay, small market-ish teams, and I mean, these financial troubles is I guess it's unique, but these outside of the big six winning a title.
They didn't step on from that. Do you know what I mean? Like they took the same group into the next season, seeing how they would do, because they played phenomenally. They didn't have Did they get to the quarters of the Champions League as well? Quarters? Or did they
get
knocked
that,
out?
Wasn't it? They got out the group.
Got out of the group, yeah.
I think it was the quarters.
So I think, you look at that next season after the title win, and it probably, that's as good as it got. The title win, and then that next season, and then they never pushed on from there. And whether that's...
They sold their best player after they won the title.
They did.
Yeah.
Kante and then also Mahrez.
Yeah.
But they invested, wasn't it something like £80 million after they won the title in the Leicester complex in terms of training facilities, youth academy, all that sort of stuff? And I think they were going for the sustainable approach because no one saw COVID coming, right? And it could have been a godsend if they still had money coming in now. So
in the future, if maybe they will be back, but who knows what could happen between now and then.
Yeah. Alrighty, well, kind of rounds up Premier League as for whatever I have. Let's keep it moving along to the big game of the weekend. Manchester United Arsenal. United.
You want?
Yeah, United halted Arsenal's win streak at the top. They're still top of the table. Yeah, who wants to give this one a go first? I mean, I have notes as well, but I'll just say I thought Arsenal played very well. You know, it was a good game. It's a good enjoyable game. It's a big occasion. You know, United's running on three game win streak, new signing, all that stuff. Big hype around the place. I do think Arsenal played really well, but United had that first goal was a really nice move. 17 passes. I thought Eriksen, I think he was man of the match.
Yeah.
He and Bruno are connecting really well. That he's just playing this number 8 role so nicely. And the only thing I felt while watching the game big time that Arsenal could have done better, other than obviously finish their chances. They had 16 shots, 3 on target, and United had 10 shots, 6 on target. But I felt like they should have tested our fullbacks a little more. Saka got a couple one-on-ones with Malaysia and was just completely ripping him. Like Saka versus Malaysia was no contest for Saka. He was doing whatever he wanted against him. But I felt like you know, I think they could have tested Dalot a little more. But obviously I'm happy with the win. But yeah, let's what are you guys' thoughts about this? Maybe Milo, you want to give us your thoughts, and then we'll
I can go
around.
first because I know we got 2 other United fans in here that probably want to enjoy the moment, which is fine. So yeah, I made a few notes as well because I didn't want to forget the important points for me about the game. I am disappointed with the result, but I will say this, okay? And this I want to open with this. Before the season, if any one of you on this panel had offered me 5 wins and 1 loss after 6 games, I would have chewed your arm off. Take that. Do you know what I mean? Like 100%. I would have taken that all day long, every day of the week. Like there's no way I thought we would start this season with 5 wins and 1 loss. So yeah, that really for me, that's why this loss doesn't hurt me as much. There's some positives I'm definitely taking from it. I know it's kind of a football cliche to take the positives from a loss, but when you look at the way Arsenal played, we did make a lot of chances. Yeah, we weren't clinical. I think on another day, when those go in, maybe we'd have won 3-1 or 4-2 or even, 5-4. It had the makings of one of those games. And for that, it must have been entertaining for neutrals. It had a bit of physical stuff to it. I don't want to get into what was a foul and what wasn't, because I really thought it was just a good Arsenal-Man United battle, and I quite enjoyed it. And then, as far as what your point was, I agree with you. We could have attacked the wings a little more. Maybe would have got 18, 20 chances instead of 16. I think the game plan from Arteta's point of view was to continue on with the way we've been playing. I think at 1-1, I personally would have changed that, and I know we're missing a couple of defensive-minded players, and that was a big loss, I think. However, you can change the shape of your team, and you can be less attacking, and you can make it boring, and try and stifle United, and maybe we'd have still lost, or maybe we would have come out of there with a point that would have been huge. So yeah, that was really it on the game for me. Like I say, I think that another week we could have won. I'm going to ignore NL because he's just a troll.
Yeah, that's why I chuckled. Yeah,
I'm talking about it like a grown-up fan, NL. So come back in a few years when you're old enough to talk about it. I also want to say I think this United squad is a lot better than people give credit for, and I expect that squad to fight for top 4.
Absolutely.
CR7 and Casemiro on the bench, that speaks volumes for me. I know they're, CR7 especially, he's the twilight of his career, but it's still CR7. He can still do a lot of things. The expectation for Arsenal is higher because of the group and because Arteta's got them playing well, and we almost hit top 4. So, Carl, I think you asked me about the expectation going to Old Trafford. Should we be expecting Arsenal to win if they want to compete in this kind of game? And I just think, you know, I'm expecting to have some tough games, and away at Man United is going to be one of them. That's not a game I'm looking at thinking, you know, we should win this game, but I do expect a bounce back win against Everton next weekend. Sorry to ramble on, guys, but
no, you're fine. You're fine.
There was
you're
a
fine.
lot to digest for that game for me. So
yeah. You know, I think, you know, when you put it that way, you know, before the season, you know, you're not, when you write, you know, when you predict 3 points here, 3 points there, you know, I guess, yeah, you know, away at United's always going to be tough. And to be honest, I don't think I was expecting United to, I was a little surprised by how far United have come since the first game of the season. I don't know, Highly, if you want to speak about Ten Hag and what he's done kind of in that game.
Yeah, I mean, sure. First of all, I agree with both of your assessments. I think playing that high line was not a very good idea by Arteta. I think clearly Manchester United executed really well on counterattacks, right? I'm very happy for Rashford. And that speaks to Ten Hag, because Rashford is one of my favorite players on that squad, right? Like when he first burst onto the scene, him and Martial were just like a 1-2 duo that was a sight to behold. And then he had the injuries, and you know, we know all about Rashford. I'm thrilled to see him scoring, and the energy and the huge smile on his face. You know, he's clearly taking that gorilla off of his back and chucked it out the window. You know, like it's really nice to see, and I think it's really, really nice to see Ten Hag rewarding the players who give him a reason to continue to have confidence in them, right? Rashford's putting in the efforts. What I love watching as well is, you know, Bruno Fernandes finally shutting up. Like, Jesus, man, stop talking so much. You guys remember I always complain about Fernandes having such a big mouth. Lately, he's playing, I believe, better than he's ever played because he's keeping his mouth shut. Save for the first half of that game, which I believe Arsenal was absolutely dominant in. I really thought, based on the first half, that Arsenal were going to win that game, but tactically, Ten Hag is choosing the right players at the right time. He's, you know, putting them in a very proper formation, and yeah, he's making hard decisions. Like Milo said, Casemiro on the bench. Maybe he needs to get in form. Who knows? Ronaldo on the bench, I think, is obviously speaks to the fact, you know, yeah, he's at the end of his career and everything, but I think we're really going to see Ronaldo shine during the Champions League. I think that's when we're really going to see Champions League. They're not even in the Champions League. It's so hard for me to accept that. But, you know, during the Europa and stuff like that, I think you're going to see more of that clutch Ronaldo scoring a couple of important goals at important times. But you know what? Color me pleasantly surprised about how Manchester United are doing 4 wins in a row. They haven't done that in years. So
yeah, I think
very happy to see
2020 was the last time they had 4 wins. I like what you said about formation and how Ten Hag's got him playing, is that, you know, you see some sort of pattern of play now. You know, I always mentioned it with the Ole thing. I feel like Ole just kind of threw the players on the field, told the fullbacks to overlap and figure it out, type of thing. That, I mean, obviously it's probably a little more in depth than that, but that's how it felt at times. You know, when you'd play against a tough team, that it's just be kind of disjointed. But there's this continuity that I did not think that they would get together so quickly, which is why I was really surprised, and which is why also I was thinking Arsenal would, you know, win this game. I honestly did, because we're just so much further. You know, we're just at the beginning of this process, and that's what Ten Hag is always saying. Cultured, what were your general thoughts about the game, and you know, how about that Anthony debut as well?
Yeah, good debut, man. He definitely looks like someone who is exciting, going to get the fans excited, I think, which is a really good thing to have. I think that helped with the buzz of a new sign, like Milo said, the buzz of a new signing on a big game like that, I think really helps get the fans up. He does look like someone that definitely has a red card in him. He's definitely going to kick someone at some point very hard and get a red card. But I mean, it was great, good finish, really good build up to the play. I think one of the biggest things I'm taking away from us playing without McFred is probably a nice way to say it, and playing Eriksen, Bruno, and Scott McTominay, is I think Erik ten Hag has just told McTominay, when you win the ball back, pass to Eriksen or Bruno. One of them will be in a little bit more space. Just give them the ball. You don't have to try and do anything fancy. You don't have to try and run it. Like, you don't have to try and dribble it. You don't have to make up for Pogba's if he's on an off day and stuff like that. Just give the ball to someone better than you, and you run around and put all the tackles in. And if you get knackered, we'll bring Fred on. If we got a lead, we'll bring Casemiro on. And I think that's where we're starting to see a little bit more of the sort of tactics, like you're saying, Cart, come into play. I think the game itself, I thought when it was 2-1, when we went 2-1 up, I thought Arteta made the wrong subs at slightly the wrong time. And I think it was the same three subs he did against Fulham that got them back into the game, I think. I might be slightly wrong on personnel. But he went to that sort of a 3-5-2 and left Xhaka as the only defensive midfielder against Bruno and Eriksen, who at that time were rotating really, really well between the sort of 8 and the 6, whatever you want to call it. And Rashford's pace, Sancho's pace, all of these players we still had going on, and then we brought Fred on to counter the 3-5-2, and it just felt a little bit naive. And I think that's what Milo was touching at before, where you could have gone, we'll play for a 1-1 and try and get a bit more defensive, but then they're lacking injuries, lacking a few options in those defensive players. But I'm interested to get Milo's thoughts on that, because I took it when it was 2-1. I think Arteta made those subs too quickly, and it was a bit management naive, maybe.
I think it's harsh. I've heard that a lot, and I think it's a little harsh to call him naive, because he is 3 years into this now, and
I only mean that decision. I don't mean
no, for sure. But I actually do think it is something I want to see him improve on. Is his when we have to change something, it doesn't have to always be this to that. You know what I mean? Like, I'd love to, and with Partey and El Neni missing, you're taking them out. What I would have done, for what it's worth, I mean, I'm not Arsenal manager as much as I'd love to be. I'd have put Tierney on, Kieran, not the referee. Although the ref would have been nice. But yeah, I'd have put Tierney on. I'd have moved Zinchenko in front of the defense on that left side, and I'd have put Xhaka back. I'd have maybe kept Lokonga on, because Lokonga is inexperienced and he's being asked to do that role. I actually think he's done quite well, given the fact that he's had to come in and he's waited for this chance. And he's young. He's going to make mistakes at this level. But I do think he has a lot of potential. He's another young player with a lot of potential. So it's an area that we identified in the summer, and we all talked about it. Like, I think we were all pretty sure Arsenal were going to go get another midfielder, and they didn't do it. And this is why I said the window, instead of a 9 out of 10, was an 8 out of 10. And I feel like it was a good window. It could have been a great window. We just needed 1 or 2 more pieces, and I hope that doesn't cost us. I'm like I said, I think everything you guys said is absolutely bang on. And there's been a lot of talk about how United aren't this and aren't that. I think they're a good team, and I think we'll be battling with you most of the season.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, the midfield, I think definitely Partey El Neni missing was big. I think it was 70th minute when United went up, around 70th minute when United went up 2-1, and I think they went to that 3-5-2, and Martinelli was the left back at that point, which was just a bit awkward to see. Yeah, left wing back, and then I think one of the goals came from that side, but. It was.
I like Eddie's energy is great. Like, if you watch what Eddie gives you when he comes on, it's actually really good. I do think I watched again today the Maguire thing. I do think Maguire fouled him, by the way.
Nah, never a penalty. I think the thing that confused me when you went to that 3-5-2 is the fact that Martinelli went left wing back, because he was finding a lot of space in between Dalot and Varane. He was causing a few issues when Jesus, who was... I'm going to hold my hand up, and I thought Jesus would be a complete flop at Arsenal. He has been brilliant, and his strength against Varane was insane in that game. Mm-hmm. He was so strong at holding off Varane, but Varane was so occupied with Jesus that Martinelli was getting into the space in between fullback and centre-back. And again, it was just confusing that you had players coming back from injuries, you had players that were out injured and stuff, but I didn't feel there was a need to change the shape. You could have been fresher legs, I think, was the better thing to do.
Just a little longer.
Yeah. Going to play against United at Old Trafford and going for it is always going to be a risk. And I think it's always going to be a risk, no matter what team you are, no matter who you are. That's going to be a risk. If you go there and shut up shop, I don't think we're equipped to do that. So I think Arteta's right to start the game the way he did. But at 1-1, when you know what I mean, when things are happening, I think we need to be able to adjust using the players that we have available. It doesn't matter who's out. We've got to make an adjustment, and the team's got to be ready to do that. I think our back four is not a problem. In fact, I think they're really good. We had a good defense last year, third best in the league, and I think we've improved it by bringing Saliba and Zinchenko in. So the defense for me yesterday wasn't the issue. It was the midfield. Offensively, we looked fine. Defensively, I think we're okay. They were just overexposed by the lack of the midfield, and unfortunately, that is where I would have wanted us to improve upon in the transfer market. So those are the reasons. But we have to look. You have to look at the table as a club. I'm not going to look at the table until Christmas, but you have to look at the table as a club and say we're top by a couple of points. We got Everton at home next week. Let's go get another 3 points. Move on.
Absolutely. Yeah.
On your defense, very quickly, because you had such good defense last year and it's still looking quite strong. Would you not? I always feel like Ben White isn't the right back you need. It should be Tomiyasu, who I know is coming back from an injury. Does Ben White, as soon as Tomiyasu's fit, is it going to be Tomiyasu right back, Ben White, Saliba, and then Tierney or Zinchenko, or is Gabriel?
I think it's going to be depending on, and that again is up to Arteta if he switches from a 3 at the back to 4 at the back. Yeah, okay. I think if you play 3 at the back, it can be White or Tomiyasu. White hasn't really done anything wrong yet, in my opinion.
No, that's why I'm thinking if you're playing 4 at the back, you put Ben White into centre back again and put Tomiyasu at right back and drop Gabriel.
Yeah. Maybe drop Gabriel, but again, Gabriel, like, he made that one mistake midweek, but he recovered from it and scored the winner. So it's like,
true.
I feel like our defense has been solid, and Saliba, obviously, he's getting a lot of plaudits for a reason. But yeah, it's interesting, man. Like I was thinking about this last night. Like I'm disappointed because it's a loss, but like it doesn't. The fact that people I hate social media, we've been over that, but like the fact that United fans are lauding this so much says to me how much they recognize that we've improved.
Oh, for sure, yeah. It's just I just think the last 2 games, if you looked at our games, we in possession, we just had nothing. We scored a goal and just hung on, and it was just like, I guess against Arsenal we got to sit back a bit more, which is probably what we can use Rashford's pace and stuff like that. I mean, we could talk about this game. I could talk about each and every United player and just talk about each one and just everyone on the back line. McTominay had almost a perfect first half.
You've asked me a lot of questions about Arsenal. Let me ask you guys about United stuff. Like the Rashford one is interesting because we could go back 2-3 months and you guys were begging. Like you offered him to me for a packet of crisps and a beer.
Well, so
I didn't. I had no part to play in that.
Yeah. I did. But it was a conditional in that he doesn't show his face in any media, any charity. Like, he can do charity work, just don't get on the cover of Time magazine. Don't be writing long Instagram post apologies. Just that whole aspect of, he got a little, it's like he got a little bit of fame and then he just kind of like cashed in totally with the with all the social work and stuff like that, which is fine, and I have absolutely nothing against it, but it felt like his focus was not on football, and whatever it is, maybe it was completely on football and it was his injuries that he was recovering from, the stress factor in his back, but to me, that's what it was. It was like, I don't want to hear about you feeding the hungry when you're playing like shit, And there's nothing wrong with feeding the hungry. It's just, you just play, let's play some football, man. Like, do what, like, you have talent, you have potential, maximize that, and then you'll even have a bigger reach, But that was why I was so fed up with it, because I kept hearing about him doing this and that and for the social welfare and all that stuff, but I don't like that aspect of it. I like footballers who play football and nothing else mainly, but if you're gonna do social work, go ahead. That's fine by me. But that's the only reason why I was kind of Rashford out.
Cart hates poor people. That's what I'm hearing here.
I hate the poor and needy. You know.
Someone clip that.
Oh man.
Yeah, like so Rashford's back in your good graces. Anthony, nice debut goal. I mean, it was on a plate for him, but obviously it's nice for a signing to get off the ground running. You guys must be happy about that.
Yeah. Very, very happy. Very happy. Hoff, go ahead. Yeah.
How do you feel, United fans in chat in here? In chat, well, my chat's up there.
Yeah.
How do you feel about a guy that you just dropped 100 million on that's making his debut? He played really well. I won't take that away from him. Kissing the badge on his first,
give him a 6-month ban. 6-month ban. Just ban him.
Okay.
Even if it's on my team, you can't join a team and kiss the badge. You can't. It's just horrendous. Right?
Me as a neutral for that, I feel it's a little disrespectful for Ajax because he was. I feel like he made the situation out to be, oh, I'm in a prison at Ajax. Get me out of here for 100 million. And I think Ajax's manager kind of made some comments about that as he was leaving, which I don't necessarily disagree with, but it was just a weird situation. I thought that was a little over the top. I get the sentiment, like, I'm happy to be here, all of that. I just thought that was a little too much.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you can't do that on your first day at a new club.
Disagree. Hard.
I love it too. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. You guys, listen. I 100% disagree. Anthony made it very clear he wanted to come to Manchester United. He made it very clear that he is loyal to Eric Ten Hag, and Ten Hag is rewarding him with that big contract and bringing him.
Go and kiss Eric Ten Hag's bald head.
Yeah, fine, and kiss the badge too, and keep kissing the badge. Lick it if you have to. I don't give a shit. It's perfect.
It's like the lucky
kissing should be reserved only for players that have spent the entire career at one club.
Yeah, Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, David
Tony
Beckham
Adams.
kissing the badge. Tony Adams, Martin Keown, even people that haven't been their whole career. But you can't
I hate
do
to
it
say
on your
this.
First day.
I hate to say this, but it might be a generational thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it might be. Yeah,
I love it. I love it. I mean, you get to a new club, you're overcome with emotion, and you're just doing everything, and then boom, you just kiss the badge. It's just like Did you see that shot? Oh, by the way, did you see that shot of Rashford like sitting on the ground, looking up at McTominay and somebody else walking, and he was framed? Do you see that picture?
No, I haven't seen that picture.
Oh man, it was epic. Yeah. It's like these are like the little things, these are the entertainment value, This is the entertainment value of football. And it's like it adds a bit of storyline, Sure, you get mad, I shouldn't have kicked the badge, should have kissed the badge, whatever. But like, just debut goal, guys. Debut goal. Just a perfect 17 pass possession. Just, I don't think
Trafford.
What was cringy was that tiger thing he did. I don't know if you saw that. He was like, the tiger thing was, but that's what it is. What it is. I'd take kissing the badge over the tiger thing.
Is there a GIF of the tiger thing? There should be. I want to see it.
I'll have to find it. Yeah, highly.
Talking generational, Milo, that was a throwback, wasn't it, to an old Man United Arsenal game. It wasn't as aggressive, and I'm not talking like Roy Keane Vieira, but in terms of end to end. Back and forth,
good game,
one team dominating player on the counter attack. I really enjoyed it.
I genuinely feel like even at 1-1, it had a feeling of next goal wins. You know what I mean? At 1-1, I thought, and we could talk about all those little incidents, like you said, like the Martinelli one. It is questionable. It's not questionable. Whatever it might be, that could have changed the game. There's many moments that could have changed the game, and what happened. But like. It really did feel like a bit more like a proper Arsenal Man United game, and for that I'm grateful. And it wasn't too contentious as far as VAR and the refs go, because I'm like I said, I'm exhausted with VAR.
After Saturday, you never knew. After Saturday, it was actual worry, and that's the problem. It shouldn't be a worry, It shouldn't be something after the fact that we're thinking about. It just get the right call. But that's okay. We're getting back into it again. It's subjective.
Next week.
Yeah, let's keep it moving. We have a bit of transfer window to talk about. Interesting stuff about this transfer window. Premier League clubs spent, what was it, $2 billion this transfer window. And I think all other leagues combined spent almost 2 billion.
It was, if you
go
combine
ahead,
all the
Cultured.
top leagues in Europe other than La Liga, if you take La Liga out of it, the Premier League spent more than Bundesliga, Serie A, Portugal, Turkey. It was, maybe even been top 10, I think, top 10 leagues in Europe. If you took other than La Liga, Premier League spent more than every other league combined. Yeah, it was absolutely great. Oh, I was chatting to you in Discord, wasn't I, Cart, about it? Saying it was interesting points. And it's sort of like, and what made me think about that and reach out to you in Discord on a private message was sort of like, because you've always been the sort of devil's advocate with the Super League, right? In terms of the whole reason Europe want a Super League is because of the money, and they can't compete with the Premier League, and that sort of backed it up. And it's slightly different because the big Premier League teams would be involved in the Super League when it was being bounded about in all that, stupid ideas and things like that. But a European Super League without the Premier League would definitely generate more money for the bigger clubs. Whether it's good for the rest of the lower leagues is a different matter. But
Absolutely.
those sorts of numbers did bring it to the forefront of the Premier League just has so much more money than everyone else.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got to be on the horizon somewhere. Maybe the whole COVID situation accelerated this idea of the Super League. I don't know. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. The Premier League clubs it's just the business end of things is just set up for them so well. The TV money and the marketability, and it's just incomparable to La Liga, and in La Liga they don't even have equal TV rights between the teams. So Madrid, Barca getting a huge market share of that, and the rest are getting small crumbs, and it's not helping the league. It's not helping the competition of the league, and probably similar situations elsewhere.
Barca's third party that they sold it to are getting a huge chunk of it, not Barca themselves.
True. Yeah. True.
All their leaders.
Did you guys see the clip of Marcelo's unveiling today or yesterday at Olympiacos? It was basically just all fire, It was just in the stadium. It was just flares and fire and smoke, and apparently he was dancing on the stage with his kids or something. I couldn't see anything, but he's gone to Olympiacos. What on the subject of transfers, before we move on to our games for this evening and kind of an open panel situation, Chelsea spent quite a bit. United, obviously, with the signing of Antony. I think that was the biggest deadline day signing for the Premier League. We did predictions before this season. Do you feel your predictions have shifted at all because of those, the first 4-game window, right, where the transfer window was open, and compared to what you did before the first game? Do you feel like your predictions are about the same, shifted slightly? I'll admit, United, after these last 4 performances, I do feel they'll finish at least 6th. I mean, I had them 6th, but I think they will finish higher than 6th. But I don't know if anybody wants to comment on teams that just have taken these last 4 weeks, or and really improved. Highly, do you have any thoughts about any transfers that you think are going to make a big difference to their team? Like I don't know, Aubameyang maybe, or probably not Aubameyang, but what do you think?
No, possibly.
Yeah, possibly.
I did want to speak to, who knows? I mean, because that's what they're missing. Again, like when you see teams that are missing that number 9, and especially that Aubameyang is used to playing in the English league, right? Like, I mean, he's, he can score, and they need someone to score consistently. Can he do it consistently? We'll see, but that's definitely something Chelsea's missing. And I think someone like Sterling, who, we've spoken about him ad nauseum. Like, I think from a strategic standpoint, Sterling has a tendency to hold on to the ball a little too long, which could be good for someone like Aubameyang because it might create some space for him to kind of maneuver around. That's all I'll say about Aubameyang. I wish him the best. I like seeing the successful teams, the big teams, play well. which is a perfect segue into Barcelona. I'm so happy that Barcelona managed to pull off all of these signings and that they're all contributing. And that team, it's nice to see them in form. It's nice to see that they don't have any significant injuries. We're going to see a lot of Fati become one of the best players in the world. Pedri, Gavi as well. Rafinha's lighting it up.
He's playing
Can't
well.
say too much. Yeah, can't say enough about Lewandowski, of course. I mean, that guy is just a phenom and will continue to be a phenom. It's nice to see Dembele getting a lot of assists and staying healthy as well. Koundé's been really good. I mean, I'm very, very happy. Like, my top team in terms of like a transfer window, let's call it winners, I think are Barcelona.
Absolutely. Yeah, great. Yeah, they've bolstered, and it's going to be fun seeing that Lewa Benzema battle as well. It's going to be fun to see. Hoff, on maybe on the subject of Spurs or any other team, any thoughts about the transfer window?
I had heard it on a podcast. I was listening to, I think it was on deadline day or the day after, with all this money that was spent, like almost $2 billion, how many out of the 20 clubs that spent all of this money, how many of those clubs do you actually think improved? Like there's clubs that spent upwards of like 200 million pounds. Do you think, because I wrote a list down, I only had 5 out of the 20 clubs, with a couple that were debatable. I had Man United, Arsenal, Tottenham, City, and I had Newcastle on there. To be fair, they could be arguable. I think Isak might put them over the top. And I had West Ham, Wolves, and Forest as the iffy ones. I think Forest, it could work, but that's a lot of players to get to gel in time. So if they all gel and start playing together and buy into the philosophy and stay up, then obviously it worked. West Ham, I feel like they always make flashy signings, but they don't, for some reason or another, they don't work out. I think Payet might have been the last one that really worked out pretty well for them. And Wolves, that's just unlucky that they just signed Kalajdzic and he ripped his ACL in his debut. Who may be getting Diego Costa now, which is, I would love to see him back in the Premier League.
Yeah, it looks like it's happening. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
It's
just
supposed to go to the Wolves, right?
Mhm.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Wolves, right? Okay.
Yeah, I was just surprised to see all this money spent, and I don't feel like that many teams actually like improved their squad. I mean, buying depth, yes, that's important, but there's teams that aren't in Europe that don't have a ton of fixtures outside of the League Cup and FA Cup that don't necessarily need that depth. Like, would that playing time given to new signings be better spent on your academy, your youth kids, your U21s, whoever? I don't know. I heard that and it got the wheels turning. Like, I don't think Chelsea markedly improved. They finished clear third last year.
Right.
I mean, even with Aubameyang, I don't think that they dropped a lot of money. I don't think that the players that they got vault them into second or first necessarily. I think they solidified third potentially, but I don't see them raising their level with those players, if that makes sense.
That's a great point. I think the only thing that pop into mind is that everyone is aging a year. That's True. I guess that's the only like kind of what's the business term, degradation or something. Depreciation, right? So in that sense, there's a little bit of that. I guess I haven't really analyzed it too much, but I would imagine that there's some of those types of things. We need to maybe limit Conte's minutes now, or something like that. Jorginho's rumored about moving away. Maybe we need to be looking at a possible replacement for him. So we'll kind of make these lateral moves in the meantime, where maybe it's not really improving us. I don't know. That's a good point. Yeah, it seems like maybe depth is the situation here. But
it would be an interesting stat to pull out, Hoff, about how much of that, as a percentage, how much of the total money spent is in those 5 clubs that you think have actually improved.
Yeah.
Because obviously Man United are a big spender. Chelsea are going to be the outlier, right? If you don't think they've improved, they've spent a lot of money. But the other clubs have probably spent a lot of money and improved it, whereas Nottingham Forest have brought a lot of people in, but not actually spent too much money.
Yeah, they didn't spend a whole lot, especially for the players, the amount of players they brought in. Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be interesting if you get some time. I'd be interested in that.
Just quickly, let's just go around. Favorite transfer of the window, of the summer window? Let me think about mine as well.
Haaland.
Okay. I'm loving
Favorite
Martinez.
From a personal point of view? Or
exactly. I guess it's from
perform the best.
I guess it's from a personal point of view. Yeah, from a personal point of view. For me, it's Martinez. I love it.
He's got.
I love what he's doing. Just the fact that he's a smaller guy as well for a center back. His range of passing against Arsenal was just lovely. It's such a juxtaposition against Maguire. You know, this big, dude, kind of clumsy, a little clumsy, and then just this kind of, I don't know. Anyway, that's just me though. That's probably all coming off of these last couple of weeks, but he's great.
Yeah, I think coming up the last couple of weeks as well, like Eriksen on a free, has got to be a great. That's got to be up there. I mean, I didn't expect that to be as good as it was, but it might tail off. I think from a personal point of view, I mean, it's really harsh, but maybe Malacia, just because he's not Luke Shaw.
Yeah,
I mean, It's not a very good reason to have a favourite transfer, but I thought Luke Shaw has been, other than the Euros, and for Man United, he's been so inconsistent. For England, he's always been pretty decent, but Malacia is good. I can't really argue at any of Man United signings. They're all good, right?
And I'm really excited to see. It's funny, but I'm really excited to see them play Europa League. How does the second team? How do they play? Have they bought in? Is there? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Milo, do you have a favorite signing? I think.
For me, obviously Zinchenko. And Jesus, but I think Zinchenko may just pip it because I just think he's going to be, he's coming back from injury there. He probably wasn't fully fit for the United game, but it was important to try and bring in a little bit more of a defensive presence, someone that can play further up the pitch with a defensive mind. And I don't think they would have brought him back if Partey or El Neni were available for that game. But so I think Zinchenko maybe just pips it. Jesus is going to be important throughout the season. And we saw a glimpse of Fabio Vieira against United there with about 15 minutes to go yesterday. Looked sharp. I thought he looked neat and tidy. Went for a volley at one point as well. Like don't mind a bit of that. So I'm looking forward to seeing a bit more of what he can do because the first glimpse I thought looked decent.
Absolutely. And Haaland for you, Highly? You said?
Oh yeah, he's just good for the game. He's just good for the league. Really.
Yeah.
Can't be having City having a favourite transfer. It's just not right.
And Hoff?
You'll get used to me, culture.
Richarlison for me. I think.
Okay. Nice.
I think he'll be really good. But as more of like a general, like a Haaland type for Highly, I really like Aronson to Leeds. I want to see more Americans.
Oh yeah.
Like raise the profile of the American player in the league. So hopefully he does that. I think he has the potential to. So hopefully he does that.
He looks comfortable. He's playing well. He looks like an American Messi almost. It's American.
Oh my God!
Big praise.
Messi. Let's keep it moving, guys.
All over again.
Just real quick, we're gonna skip over the fantasy review. Rashford had the most points with 18, Tony 17, McAllister at Brighton with 14, Solanke with 12 in this most recent round, Haaland with 9. So a couple of surprises. I guess Rashford's a bit of a surprise there. Other than that, it's pretty basic. But let's get to our new segment. What happened? Did you guys just switch? Wait, what just happened?
Oh yeah, we've all just moved around. Yeah.
What the hell? Well, are you guys reversed? Oh, you're reversed. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. Okay, that was tripped me out. We have a new game, guys, called Categories. Hoff, you want to take it away?
Yes. So we
right.
are going to play a game called Categories. I will give a category. For example, this won't be the category we use, but for example, I'll say World Cup winning managers, and I'll tell you how many they were, and then we go around the other 4 guests tonight, alternating naming one of the managers until you can't name one or there's a repeat. No repeating is allowed.
Okay.
Until there's one person left.
Okay.
So and then I have 4 categories. So the first person to 2 points wins and is the winner for tonight.
Okay.
So yeah, let's see. On my screen, I have Cart closest to me, so we'll go Cart, Cultured, Highly, and then Milo in
Perfect.
that order. Yeah. And then the second round will be Cultured first.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
okay. So and there will be a timer. You don't have forever. I will keep. I'll give you.
When do we get to vote people off the island? Do we get to?
That's at the end.
Who's the weakest link? You know. No, okay.
But I'll give you a few seconds, but then I'll start pushing you for an answer. After. Okay. So the first category Cart is going to start us with is Premier League players with 3 or more goals this season, and there are 15 of them.
Erling Haaland.
Erling Haaland is correct.
Woo!
As if you've gone for that first. Gabriel Jesus.
Gabriel Jesus is correct.
Who's up next?
You are. Highly's up.
Wow. Harry Kane?
Harry Kane is correct.
I was gonna say Kane.
Actually, I should get a pen, huh?
The words right out of my mouth. Let's go Rashford.
Marcus Rashford is correct. Back to Cart.
I've got one written down, but I think it might be recency bias. Raheem Sterling?
Raheem Sterling has 3 goals.
Oh, yes. Get in.
He's in. He's in.
Get in.
Cultured.
Oh, Ivan Toney scored a hat-trick.
Ivan Toney is correct. He actually has 5 goals on the season.
Awesome.
Son of a...
Who else here? Who else?
All right.
Oh, no.
Need an answer?
Yeah.
Mine's...
I should really be thinking before it's my turn, you know? It's like,
I'm
listening to you guys. All right, that's going to be... Okay.
Yep, Highly is out.
Hoff, you need the countdown clock.
I do.
No.
I do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I need the quiz clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
timer.
Milo, you are up.
Havertz.
Kai Havertz does not have 3 goals this season.
Ooh,
I believe he just scored his first.
Instead of Sterling, that's what I was gonna say, Milo. I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
Final 2, Cart. Final 2.
So we have
is it my turn?
Wait,
is it my?
Cultured are left.
I'm gonna
Yep,
cause some confusion. Is it my turn or whose turn is it?
It's Cart's turn.
Are you sure it's my?
Stalling.
I don't.
Stalling.
Okay, I'll go with he scored 2 midweek. Julian Alvarez.
Julian Alvarez has not scored 3 goals this year.
Sorry, that was loud.
All right, so Cultured needs to get this one correct, and he will get the point.
And I'm pretty sure Wilfred Zaha scored 4.
Wilfred Zaha has scored
Very
4.
nice, Cultured.
Nice.
Yeah, well done,
Very
Cultured.
nice. Very
So we
nice.
have Erling Haaland. Mitrovic has 6 goals.
Of course.
Mitrovic, of course.
Harry
Mitrovic.
Kane, Ivan Toney, Alexis McAllister with 4, Rodrigo with 4,
Oh, Rodrigo.
Zaha with 4, Roberto Firmino with 3,
Oh, Liverpool.
Jesus
No,
with 3. Luis Diaz with 3, Pascal Gross with 3, Martinelli with 3, Rashford, Sterling, and Odegaard with 3.
It's really hard when you're on the spot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Like
Yeah.
it really
It's
is.
trying to put the
It
pressure
is.
on.
That's good.
All right.
I
I'm
like
like
it though.
staring. I'm not looking at you guys. I'm like staring dead ahead because I don't want to be put off, and it's still not working.
All right. Category number 2. This one, they're supposed to get harder as we
wonderful.
go
Oh
up.
God.
So
Wonderful.
this one is I thought this one might be harder than the third one. We'll find out. It is goal scorers again. It is players historically, so it could be current, could be anytime, with at least 10 World Cup goals.
Oh wow.
There are 13.
Whew.
And Cultured is going to start this round.
We're talking all time across World Cups.
All time,
right?
all World Cups. Yep.
Right. I'm going Miroslav Klose because he's one of my
Miroslav
favorite goal
Klose
scorers.
is with 16. He's the leading World Cup scorer.
Yeah.
Wayne Rooney.
Wayne Rooney is incorrect. He has
Are you
not
kidding
scored at
me?
least 10 goals in the World Cup.
What a flop.
Am I next?
Milo's up. Yes.
R9.
Damn it.
R9. Yes. 15 goals for R9. So that's the top 2 World Cup goal scorers. Cartwheel champ.
I will select. I think I'm cutting out. Hold on. Let me. I got it. I will
You better be
select.
monitoring
Through a
this.
tunnel.
I will select. This is incorrect. No, it might be correct. Thomas Muller?
He is the only active player on this list. That's correct.
Okay.
He scored 10
wow.
goals.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
Of course, I get the
I
most
mean,
recent. There we go.
I've got to go Pele, right?
Pele, he has scored 12. That's correct.
I wasn't sure.
All right, Highly.
He's out. Hey,
No,
Highly,
I'm
you're
out.
out.
Riley's
Oh, Highly's out. Sorry, Milo.
Maradona.
Maradona has not scored 10.
Oh,
really? Really?
I don't know how many other Brazilians have.
Art.
I've got 4 other
Argentines,
names, and I chose
Italians.
Maradona thinking it was nailed on.
Some of the names I've never heard, quite honestly, when I was putting the list together.
Italy, Italians. Okay. I'll go with I'll just go with old Roberto Baggio.
Roberto Baggio is incorrect. He has not scored 10 World Cup goals.
God damn it! I think that's it
I've got-
because that
Cultured wins.
the cultured wins.
Cultured, he
No,
needs to get this right. He needs to get
No,
it
yeah,
right.
Right.
I thought he got the first one of this round.
Oh,
right?
no,
But
he
yeah, go ahead.
started. You're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
he started. Yeah.
All right. So Cultured
Okay.
wins.
I had David Villa and Diego Forlan as well. Were those on there?
Neither one are on there.
Eusebio.
My-
Good thing I went for a random.
Eusebio's not on there.
Yeah,
Jesus.
It was either going to be Gary Lineker or Alan Shearer.
Gary Lineker is on there.
Gerd Muller?
Oh,
What about
Muller,
Gerd
I was
Muller,
gonna-
yes, he's the third all-time scorer. Yes.
Yeah,
That
so
crossed
Gerd
my
Muller
mind.
would have been on there. Rudy
Um,
Voller.
he is not. The list is Klose with 16, Ronaldo with 15, Gerd Muller with 14, Just Fontaine with 13.
Fontaine.
He scored those in one World Cup, which is crazy.
Wow.
Yep.
Pele with 12, Sander Koksix, I believe he's Hungarian, with 11. Jurgen Klinsmann with 11.
Klinsmann.
Helmut Rahn with 10. Batistuta with 10. Lineker with 10. Teofilo Cubillas with 10. Muller with 10. And Gregors Leto with 10.
How shit was Maradona?
Oh shit, was Wayne Rooney? Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
What a flop.
Fraud. He's a fraud.
Alrighty, nice.
I will
was
keep
fun.
the other
That's
two.
a fun game. That's
I'll
a
keep
fun
the
game.
unused categories for future games.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fun. It's fun.
It's way better than how many teams can you name?
No, 'cause I like them as well.
Yeah, I was watching your YouTube. Oh, by the way, guys, get ready for the quiz. It's on the thing. We're gonna try to bust through it pretty quickly. It's on your on screen, on the Twitch channel, on the screen. If you scroll kind of near where Highly and Milo meet, their cameras meet, right around there should be a little plug-in quiz kit button. Also in the if you're on mobile, above chat, there's a quiz kit button there. Get ready for the quiz. Yeah. While everyone's getting ready for that, just real quick. Cultured. I was watching your YouTube video, and I feel like playing Football Manager is gonna, like, especially a retro save, is gonna really help with how many teams you can name.
Having a podcast about old school football and playing 03 like really helps. With, like,
how many teams can you name? You guys never pick older players, otherwise I feel like I'd do better. You always, do you know what I mean?
I feel like it, like if we got to find the average, kind of like average place, right? So if Cultured's on, and you're on, and maybe someone else, that we got to.
Vierni was a good one.
Hey, what are you trying to say?
Go in there. I mean,
Get Cultured. You're so old.
I didn't grow up with it. That's the problem.
Cool.
All right, I'm just gonna say this right now, guys. The competitor in me took over, and I saw Baggio in chat. That's why I said Baggio.
I knew it.
Yeah, I'm not a good. I don't like carrying that. I'm just letting you know. I don't want to carry it.
I heard you say Italian.
I don't want to carry it.
Don't say an Italian. Don't say an Italian.
Make me carry it.
How honorable of you.
Yeah.
When he doesn't host the quiz, he just cheats. Unbelievable.
I have to be honest. I can't do it.
Are you the guy that was coughing in the background on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yeah. I grazed over chat and I saw it, man. God damn it. All right, guys, here we go. Let's go for the quiz. Here we go. I don't know what the first question is. Who has scored the most goals in matches between Arsenal and Manchester United? Wayne Rooney, Thierry Henry, Ryan Giggs, or Ian Wright? Who has scored the most goals in the Arsenal-Manchester United fixture?
Labaruski?
Diego Maradona.
Diego Maradona.
Actually, Roberto Baggio.
Does anyone have a guess for how many goals before I tell you who? It is over 10.
Oh, never mind.
It is over 10.
17.
17.
13. I've gone
13. Milo, you have a guess?
Nah, because it ain't one of my lot.
So, the highest score for Arsenal is Henry, but the highest in this is Wayne Rooney with 14.
Thought it was Rooney, and 14. I put Giggs instead.
Oh, Giggsy had, I think he had the most appearances in Arsenal United games.
He slept with the most players' wives.
Our next question's about to start, by the way. Next question's about to start. Who won the Golden Boot at the 2010 World Cup? Interesting, we were just talking about that. Talking about World Cup. Goals, Wesley Sneijder, Diego Forlan, David Villa, or Thomas Müller? Now I know why I wrote those names down. I was like,
where are these names coming from?
Nicholas Bentner.
I'm trying so hard to remember the 2010 World Cup.
South Africa.
Yeah, I think
Spain won it that year.
They did.
I'm wrong.
So this one was a tiebreak, and it went to assists. David Villa, Müller, and Forlan all had 5 goals. And Schneider, I believe, had 5 goals, but Müller had 3 assists.
Oh, I was gonna go Müller, and then I went for Forlan.
I went Forlan as well.
It was Müller.
Forlan
He
got
ended
the
up
golden
winning
ball.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. The Golden Boot.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I didn't know the Golden Boot was goals and assists combined.
It's not. It's only goals unless it's joint.
Tiebreaker. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm off to a bad start tonight.
Ooh.
Oh, you can't be as bad as me, mate. Fine.
All right, next one. Who has scored the most goals in the Derby della Madonnina? The Milan derby.
Just say the Milan derby.
Giuseppe Meazza, Andrei Shevchenko, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, or Diego Milito. Yeah, I learned that it's called Derby della Madonnini.
Oh, I've just thought of something that could definitely be different than the question.
I think I thought what you're thinking.
Yeah, and I haven't pressed that answer.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Fuck.
Because Zlatan played for both teams.
For
Is that what you're
both
thinking?
teams.
For both
Yeah.
teams.
Yep.
That's true. He did, but you would be okay if you didn't click him because it was Andrei Shevchenko.
Yes.
The correct answer was Shevchenko. All right, let's keep zip. We'll check the scores before the final. There's only 5 questions.
Man.
And I had help from Bottle Jobs. He threw me a couple questions this week.
Can't believe the answer to that wasn't Flamini.
Who has made the most appearances with 56 in the Derby della Madonnina? Was it Alessandro Costacurta, Giuseppe Bergomi, Paolo Maldini, or Javier Zanetti? Javier Zanetti, Maldini, Bergomi, or Costacurta? I believe these are the top 4. Yeah.
I need a big answer, so I've gone for one that I don't think might be right, but not my other one's gone for. So.
All right. What are you guys' guesses?
I mean, I had to guess Maldini.
Yeah, I guess
I
Maldini.
thought everyone would go Maldini, so I went Costa Curta because I know he was pretty much ever present at Milan.
Maldini started so young, though.
Yeah, he was. It was
Well done,
Maldini.
man.
It was
Yes.
Maldini.
Yeah.
All right, real quickly, we'll look at the scores. We're cutting real close to the end time here. So close here. There's just a little bit of latency. I gotta wait for the thing to go. Quickly, the scores. What are the scores? Ooh, Hoff's in the lead, followed by Highly and then Milo.
How am I in the lead?
It is tight, guys. This next one is gonna be tricky.
Oh no, that's
Really
from the
tight.
last question. I'm not in the lead.
This next one is. Oh, sorry. Total scores.
Yeah.
Oh,
Symphony.
Symphony's in the lead.
He's the only one in positive.
Yeah.
Okay, so Highly and Milo are all in striking distance, and contestant 20 could take over if everything else goes his way. This next one is a little tricky. Okay.
Diego, if you could just keep being rubbish, that would be great.
Sorry, that was that last question. Here we go. What minute was Gareth Bale's famous bicycle kick in the Champions League final? 55 to 50th, 50th to 55, 66 to 70th, 56 to 60th, 61 to 65.
Oh wow.
I've gambled. I've gambled
One
big.
of those.
I gambled early. Yeah.
Oh boy, this is for the sound effect, by the way, guys. I've
Which,
put.
have you added
I've put,
mine
I
yet?
did. I did.
Okay.
Which is
I
annoying
added it
because I'm
today.
not going to win. I'm not going to win. But if
I
I
wanted-
did win this quiz, my sound effect would have been Cart hates poor people.
Yeah.
So,
I actually owe you another sound effect because I won it
You
back
do.
to that week.
You do. You do.
oh,
So I got to think about that.
You can send it. You can send it whenever. Honestly, you guys can send sound effects whenever you want. The correct
Perks.
answer was 61 to 65.
Oh,
It's the
damn it.
64th minute bicycle
Did you
kick.
get it, Highly?
No.
Oh,
Who was
tricky one.
it?
Tricky one. Let's see.
Who won?
Contestant 20.
What?
Who's contestant 20?
Contestant 20. That has
They
to be
got
the
it.
lowest score.
141. Oh my God.
That was tough.
141 points.
Does anyone want to claim it, or is it going to Symphony?
there was someone in the previous
Castle.
one that was.
If
Yeah,
it's-
someone did claim contestant 20 before.
Hey, nice
Castle of
Castle.
cheese.
Castle.
Congrats.
Congrats, bro.
You can
I
click
take
on,
solace in
Castle,
the
you
fact
can
that I
click on
beat all of the panelists.
You get to you get to
Castle, you
pick.
can click on the panel on the little quiz kit. You can approve it, and then it will show your name.
There you go. Yeah. All right, guys.
Next
We got a couple minutes. I know we've cut it quite close tonight. A lot of stuff to talk about. I appreciate you guys being here as always. Guys, check out everyone's content. The Twitter links have their links to everything basically. Cultured has a fantastic YouTube channel. Hoff is running some fantasy, and you can always find him here. Occasional Twitch and YouTube things as well. Highly as well. Nice YouTube channel. Football streaming, football and eFootball as well. or FIFA and eFootball as well. And Milo, as you all know, amazing variety streamer, F1, story games, Red Dead, eFootball, NHL, sim racing as well, all of it on his channel.
Everything.
So you got a little bit of everything over there. Just quickly, we're kind of real close. Just a highlight of the week. Anything you guys want to just shout out? Anything? Mine was Serena.
Oh, go on.
Serena Williams played her final U.S. Open this week, and it was just, she put a good effort, but wasn't enough in the third set. But Serena Williams, big, bit of a legend of women's tennis and tennis, and I think at least U.S. sports. Really nice to see her. Also, I saw that movie with Will Smith, about her father, and it's just nice, just about all that. But but highlights. Anyone else? Highlights.
Watching streams from a private pool in Bali.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Wow.
Very
Wow.
nice.
That was.
Unreal.
That's awesome. Like Bali is amazing. Highly, you got a highlight?
I reunited with the love of my life, guys.
I was gonna say you
Ooh,
messaged
nice.
me. You were at lunch with your lady, and then I want to say a couple weeks ago it was not that was not the situation. But it's congrats, man.
Nice.
Thank you.
Congrats,
Thank you.
dude. That's awesome. That is a highlight. That definitely is.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Bro.
Hoff, real quick.
There was a transfer deadline day that passed, and Spurs weren't scrambling to buy anybody, and it was really weird, but I really enjoyed it.
Very nice. And Milo, do you have a?
Yeah, made one of the babies laugh today.
Ah,
Nice.
It's an amazing sound. So I'll be my wife's going to record a video, and it's going to be basically what the babies see, and it's when I'm trying to make them laugh, and it's going to be like stuff like that. Basically, it's going to be a nightmare.
that's great.
Um,
Yeah, that's funny. And do you want to take us off with a dad joke to close the show? That's our new
I've got it
tradition, I
ready.
think. All right, here we go,
Yeah, I
Milo.
know,
Let's hear it.
is.
And by the way, thank you guys all for joining so much. Really,
Thanks for
taking
having
the time out of your day to join us. Guys, please check out their content. Go ahead, Milo. Take it away.
How do you organize a space-themed party? You plan it.
Yeah.
You plan it.
8 on 10.
You plan it. Oh my God.
I think Hoff
man.
enjoys the dad jokes more than anyone else.
Dude, I'm storing them in my arsenal. So yeah.
I've actually heard one this week. It was, have you seen the dog bowl? A man asked his wife, "Have you seen the dog bowl?" And then he was like, I didn't know he could bowl. And I fucked it up. Something like that.
No, you got it.
Something like that. Alrighty, guys. Good night. Thanks for joining.
Everyone.
Thanks, guys. Cheers, everyone.
See ya.
Good night.
Cheers.
Thanks again, Cart.
No, absolutely,
Cheers,
absolutely.
It's the Monday weekend wrap up. It's the Monday weekend wrap up. It's the Monday weekend wrap up.